Hello guys, welcome to Top Anime Sensei. This video is the part 5 of the eve of the festival, so if you haven't watched the previous parts please go check it. The links are in the description, and if you like the video please subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. So without any further delay let's start. Why? What's wrong? I wanted to run out and check the situation, but I couldn't show myself panicking as well. I spoke with that thought in mind, but the escorts from each of the countries came running in a panic. What is happening here? The security should have been airtight, if something were to happen. I didn't feel a big aura approaching us, and it wasn't like a monster had appeared either. If something like that had happened, we would have noticed it sooner. Milam and Carrion's group seemed to be a bit late, but even if they did arrive, the soldiers wouldn't have panicked. Then what exactly? A large flying object came flying outside the city. Reporting. The Sorcerer's Dynasty's Guardian Dragon King has appeared. Big problem here. Elmisia Elor Sarian, the Emperor herself is coming down here right now. Her Imperial Majesty Elmisia and her entourage are approaching this location right now. They all shouted in disarray. Ah, don't scare me like that. I was wondering what happened. I mumbled absent-mindedly, which prompted Gazel to rise from his seat and move beside me, with a dumbfounded expression. You're the same as ever. Carefree and without a clue how the world works. If the Divine Emperor Elmisia came out of her country, then it's natural for this commotion to happen. The humans from each country, and even I have to be careful and watch her complexion. If that Divine Empress is the opponent, then it would be hard to handle. What do you mean? According to Gazel, the Empress of the Sorcerer's Dynasty Sarian, Elmisia, holds absolute power. She calls herself a descendant of God and declared herself the Divine Empress. I don't know the truth, but it is an undisputed fact that the High Elf with the name Elmisia revived the country. So that girl lived longer than Sarian's history. The armored nation Dwargon spanned 1,000 years of history. Compared to that, the history of Sorcerer's Dynasty Sarian was known to go back at least 2,000 years. And so, Rimuru, before Elmisia, even I can't raise my head. Much more to humans with their short lifespans, it's impossible to even think of meeting her. Seeing how Gazel made a bitter expression, the person called Empress Elmisia must have been a very troublesome person to deal with. I was planning to invite only Duke Elalud. I ended up calling the absurd bigwig as well. Ah, I see. I should have written proper names in the invitation. I don't think that's the problem here. Gazel stared at me through narrow eyes. She had already arrived. It would be a fool's errand to make her leave. I had no choice but to do my best to receive her. During our conversation, a commotion had been brewing at the entrance. Looks like they arrived. Do not get careless, Rimuru. Just think of her as a beast who's been through all sorts of hardships. Holding back one of her guardians from stepping forward, the Empress herself approached. I am thankful for the invitation. I too am honored to meet you. Notice, mind interference detected. This doesn't seem like an attack, just an effect of heroic spirit that seeped out. This was dangerous. This person seemed to have a higher level of heroic spirit than even Gazel. This was a peaceful invitation. I would try my best to appease her in the hopes of friendly relations in the future. It may not be up to standard, we have prepared meals as well. I hope you will enjoy yourself tonight. I am happy to receive such consideration from Rimuru-sama. I expect a lot from the festival that will take place tomorrow, so please make me happy. On a side note, I was wondering why Duke Elalud, the person I initially invited, was nowhere to be seen. When I landed eye contact with one of the Empress's escorts. No, wait a minute, that person is Duke Elalud? We only caught a passing greeting by sight, but I thought that I should say hello to him later. It was a short conversation, yet a very tiring one. Yeah, I'm really tired. I felt like I was gonna fall over the moment I met her, if I don't keep my mind straight. Ah, whatever, I'll just drink for now. I talked with Gazel and Yum about how the world goes around, and this and that, over some drinks. But our leisure time didn't last long. Noticing how the entrance was starting to get noisy again, I could sense that another big shot had showed up. Our guests have finally arrived. Ah, it's Milam-san. Seems like she'll spruce up the evening. No wonder, since Benimaru, Diablo, Geld, and even Gabiru. 4 of our country's executives were there as guides. Everyone was tense when seeing the group, because the ones who stepped in were 10 powerful people, including Milam. She was in the lead, flanked by 2 subordinates. Midley, who was strong enough to be acknowledged by Benimaru, Hermes, who fought with Gabiru. The ones following the 3 of them were 2 former demon lords. Beastmaster Carrion and Sky Queen Frey. Carrion had a solemn appearance as always. I could feel great dignity from both of them. My, I saw Phobio-kun, who I hadn't seen for a long time. He seemed a bit thinner, but I am glad he looked healthy. Looking at the people following Frey, there were two beautiful twin girls. One had silver hair while the other had gold hair, which fit well together. I heard that they were attendants of Frey, called the Twin Wings. These were rulers of extreme power who accepted Milim as their new queen. Sorry, I'll have to excuse myself for a minute, I said before leaving to meet Milim's group. Milim's face lit up with a big smile as soon as she saw me. Milim often snuck into the dungeon whenever she managed to slip out of Frey's sight. She was here until yesterday, so her arrival today was also later than planned. I was a little worried about whether she'd been found out and was being scolded by Frey. It's okay. I became self-aware that I am a ruler, so I made Frey believe me by emphasizing that I was protecting my borders. What Milim was protecting wasn't her territory, but the floors of the labyrinth I assigned to her. If that was found out, I get scolded as well. I had no choice but to believe in Milim for now. Even if Milim ended up folding, I could just cling to saying that I had nothing to do with it. Thank you for inviting us today. I sincerely apologize for being later than the scheduled time. Frey came towards me with a greeting, after waiting for my conversation with Milim to end. Then she looked me in the eyes and asked as if it were an interrogation. Our Lord Milim had gone missing until this morning, so it took time to get her changed into formal dress. Haha, so that's it. Ah, I don't mind, so please enjoy the next few days free of hassle. I will do so, to be invited, despite being indebted to Rimuru-sama for building our new city. I am very grateful. No. I would hope that the dishes are to your liking. Are there any ingredients that you don't eat? There is a dish made with a bird. A bird. A freezing tension suddenly paralyzed me. I'm in big trouble, but it was already too late. Did Rimuru-sama want to say that I am on the same level as a bird? That wasn't my intention. Frey was still smiling, and the twin wings were seething with bloodlust. Haha. Amazing, truly amazing, Rimuru. You really are an amazing guy. To actually treat Frey like a bird, this is a masterpiece. Carrion had burst out in laughter. It's something even I can't copy, Milim said in admiration. What's so funny, Carrion? And Milim, Frey huffed angrily. No matter how you look at it, this was my fault. What I just said was a slip of the tongue. I brought up a pointless concern, worrying that you might dislike bird dishes. How befitting for Rimuru-sama. You're just as I expected. I knew that you didn't mean to insult me, though I wanted to test how you would react. In spite of Milim's current appearance, her tendency to listen to others had markedly increased. Frey used my slip of the tongue to test her, and probably intended to let Milim learn from my attitude. I thought she was just a scary lady, but she seemed to be looking after Milim well. Then, if we were to talk about bad examples. Well, what about you, Carrion? What's so funny? Could you explain it clearly for me to understand? Frey turned to Carrion in a flash and grabbed his head with her soft hands, in brute force alone. Carrion was far stronger, but looking at grip strength on its own, Frey had the upper hand. Wait. Ow, that hurts, really. It will really be dangerous. I was wrong, I'm sorry, so please forgive me, Frey. Their master was screaming, but the three beastketeers did not try to move. Only Phobio was worried and didn't know what to do. Did you see, Milim? You need to apologize when you make a mistake. That is the right choice, alright? Okay. Before that I will try to avoid doing things that will make Frey angry. Milim seemed to understand what I was saying. If you didn't want to get punished like Carrion, you needed to be careful. Wait, stop the idle talk and help me. Pledging not to forget his sacrifice, Milim and I waited for Frey's anger to subside. Ignoring Carrion's sacrifice, we moved places. That was too mean, Milim and Rimuru. Even though I pleaded for dear life, came the immediate complaints from Carrion, who was just released by Frey. You're fine, so stop complaining. Yeah, Frey wasn't super serious about it. That much was nothing, right? That's not true? From the moment my head was caught in Frey's claws, I lost access to my skills. That aside, right now Shuna's cooking was more important. Please enjoy the meal, Shuna assuaged Milim with a smile. The nobles were watching us from afar. They had already filled their bellies and were enthusiastically talking about the ways of the world. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. And if you guys have not watched the previous parts, then please watch them. The links are in the description. And don't forget to like, subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates.